Hey, hi, my dear friends. My name is Juan Carlos Valverde, and today we will discuss break-even analysis in Excel, and we will do the chart. All right, are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, here is a little problem. JC Company manufactures and sells laptops. Every month, the company has to pay the salary of the CEO. The salary is $2,800. They also have to pay other expenses such as security, 120, rent, it says $2,200, insurance, 570. No, now these costs are called fixed costs because they are not tied to the production level. It means that when the production increases or decreases, you still have to pay the same costs. That's why they're called fixed costs. Okay. For example, the salary of the CEO does not increase or decrease when the production increases or decreases. That's what it means. The same as security, rent, and insurance. Now, on the other hand, we also have other expenses. It says to manufacture each laptop, the company has to purchase some parts and pieces from a supplier that costs $430. The company also hires a person that charges them $15 for each laptop assembled. Each laptop is sold at $800 and calculate the following. Number one, it says, how many laptops do they need to sell a month to break even? What is the minimum to break even? That means it's the minimum number of units sold a month to keep the business alive. That means that below this number, the company is losing money. And above this number, the company is making a profit. Okay. But when you reach this number, the break even, it's when expenses equals revenue. So there's not losing money, not making a profit. Okay. Now let's sort them out. Let's classify the cost here. We divide the cost in two different categories. Okay. Number one is fixed costs. The CEO, security, rent, insurance. I repeat, because these costs do not change when my production increases or decreases. Even if the company doesn't produce anything, you still have to pay these costs every month. Okay, that's why they're called fixed costs. So I add them up, and total fixed cost is $6,390. Now, on the other hand, there's another type of cost. They're called variable costs because for each laptop that you assemble, you need to buy parts from a supplier, and you have to pay a person $15 to assemble the laptops. So, for example, this person charges you $15 per laptop. So if the person assembles two laptops, he will charge you $30. And also you have to pay here 860 for two laptops, right? But just 430 for one, all right? So that's how we divided the cost into different categories. Now let's calculate break-even units, which means the minimum number of units that we have to sell, not to lose money, but not to make a profit either, okay? So the formula says fixed cost equals, let's work on this, fixed cost I already have, and we need to divide fixed costs by, let me open parentheses, P equals, as you can see here, selling price, which is $800, minus variable costs. Okay, the formula says minus variable costs, and I have the total variable cost here, which is 445. So close parentheses, and this means that the company has to sell at least 18 computers, not to lose money, but not to make a profit either. Okay, this 18 means that expenses equals revenue. Now, what about money? Because I already have in units. What about money? To calculate that in money, what we have to do is we multiply the units to be sold times the selling price. Okay, that means here that the company has to, or it's necessary for the company to have $14,400 as revenue, okay, in order not to lose money. So let's do the chart here. Okay, let me see. Imagine that the company sells only 12, not 18, but 12, 13. Let's do this. Okay, let me pull it down. Okay, Remember that at 18, the company has the following revenue. The company has this revenue, but also the expenses is the same, right? So let's click here, which is the same, and the profit is 0. Okay, the profit is 0. But now, what would happen? What would happen if the company sells only 12? What's the revenue? Revenue equals to number of computers sold times, okay, 800, because this is the cost of the computer. So let's make this absolute reference. I do this by, in my computer, which is a Dell computer, I press function plus F4. Okay, so this is the revenue. Okay, and the expenses equals to, that will be fixed cost. Let's make it absolute reference. Okay, plus, I open parentheses, that would be the number of computers sold times the variable cost. Okay, so I close this. Those are the expenses. As you can see, expenses are higher than revenue. Okay, and the profit for this, that would be a negative profit. Okay, the formula is revenue minus expenses. So you can see I have a negative number. So let me pull it down to see what happens. No, I made a mistake, sorry. Let me do the second here. Okay, 13. What's the revenue for 13? The formula says that we need to multiply this times the selling price. Let's make it a absolute reference. Okay. Expenses. What do we do with expenses? Formula says equals total fixed costs, absolute reference. Okay. Plus number of units sold times variable cost. Okay, let me do this absolute reference to absolute reference. Okay, close parentheses, and there we go. So the profit in this case would be a negative, right? Yeah, revenue minus expenses. That's also negative. So here we go. Let me do this. Put it down. All right. Same here. Put it down. Okay. There's a mistake here. Yeah, that's correct. And let's put it down. All right. Now it makes sense. Let me see if it makes sense. All right. Seems to me like it makes sense. Now let's make it in a chart. Okay, so here we go to insert. And we will use this one, lines. But it doesn't make sense here. So let's change this. We'll click on seleccionar data. Make sure that this is highlighted and click on edit. I'm sorry. Wait. Let me move this a little bit to the left. Okay, now let's do it again. It says select data. You highlight this part that says unit sold. Click on edit. And this is the X, right? So you do this. You see, now it makes sense. Let's talk about this chart. Okay, it says here that the blue line represents units sold, okay, from 12 to 24, as you can see. The yellow line represents profit. Well, what happens when I sell 18 laptops? There's no profit. As you can see, the profit is 0. Okay, but when I say 24 laptops, what's the profit? When I say 24 laptops, the profit is 2,130. You see, this is 5,000. So over here is 2,130. Okay, and the blue line, units sold, it doesn't change. Okay, yeah, well, it changes from 0 to 24, of course. Yeah, and as you can see, the revenue line, which is the orange line, okay, there is an equilibrium here. Okay, also expenses right here. Okay, so here it is. This is the chart that represents the BEP. Now we change this and the title, break-even point. Okay. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you can practice, and if you have any questions, please let me know.